The NFL's opening weekend tends to be a total crapshoot. That's because you have some teams that show up just totally unprepared for the season to start. You have other sides who just blow their wad way too early. And then you just get a few results that are seemingly plucked out of the air randomly that make no sense in the context of this season. This is great. It really secures that any given Sunday vibe people love about the NFL, but there's something really quite annoying about this as well. The Monday and Tuesday following week 1 are perhaps the worst of the football season. All of the talking heads are out there pimping some really hot takes based on a very small sample size that almost never stands the test of time. They sound something like this. I'm Colin Cowherd, you're listening to The Herd, NFL Week 1 in the books. Let me tell you something, folks. I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. The Patriots dynasty is over. The Miami Dolphins officially ended it on week 1, 2014. Get the tombstone ready, folks. This is it. Brady looks done. Belichick looks confused. And this Miami Dolphins team in 2014, they are going places. Ryan Tannehill, QB of the future, next decade, looks bright. He is a galactic star. Joe Philbin, great head coach, a lot of potential. This Dolphins team now owns the AFC East after week 1. We'll get to more of that in a minute, but first, folks, let me tell you about Depends adult diaper. There is no other adult diaper like it on the market today. It's what I wear every day in the work when doing my show, and let me tell you, comfort, great, excellent, so comfortable. You don't even feel like you're wearing an adult diaper, but you are. So remember, if you're out in the market for an adult diaper, choose Depends adult diapers. Go to the Depends website, enter code Colin for your 5% off discount. With that out of the way, we now go back to your regularly scheduled video. Yeah, that's pretty annoying. Really, these hot takes are akin to someone ordering McDonald's, getting the bag, sniffing it, and then declaring the Golden Arches to be the best restaurant in the world. Sure, good luck with that. Now, this brings us to 2021. We don't know what upsets and what fluke results to expect this year, but we know they are going to happen because they almost always do. So, in order to understand what's coming, why don't we take a look back at what happened? Here are 7 of the oddest NFL Week 1 results of the past 6 years. Let's jump into it. The Jacksonville Jaguars managed to win one single lonesome game in 2020, and that happened to be in week 1. Not only did they snipe their only victory in the opening week of the season, but it came against the Indianapolis Colts. This would be the same Indianapolis Colts who would finish the season 11-5 and make the playoffs. This was just an odd game when we look back on it. Also in 2020 was the Week 1 contest between the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens absolutely dismantled Cleveland, winning this game 38-6. Now everyone went on to say, well, the Ravens are Super Bowl contenders, they're looking good. The Browns are, of course, the Browns, and they're going nowhere. But when we look at the result in the context of the season, we will see that both the Ravens and Browns finished 11-5. They both made it to the divisional round of the playoffs, and they were basically equals for most of the season. Really, this just goes to show that sometimes good teams fail to show up, and sometimes teams maybe aren't as good as we think they are. So it's not great to get super hyped up about that Week 1 result. This is perhaps my favorite odd NFL Week 1 result. 2018, the Saints are of course the Saints. They were really good in 2017. They lost to the Minneapolis Miracle. And then you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers showing up to the Superdome led by Ryan Fitzpatrick. So naturally, as you would expect, the Buccaneers pull off the upset 48-40 in a total shootout of a game. And really, this was just totally unexpected. It was really the start of the Fitzmagic era. You know, he was doing the whole chest hair shtick as well. But no one saw this coming. This was a game that made no sense, even in the context of that season, because the Saints would win a bunch of games. They're back in the playoffs, getting screwed again in the playoffs in 2018. And the Buccaneers won 4 more games that year and just were on a train to nowhere until Tom Brady would come to town a few years later. 2018 also saw the New York Jets and the Detroit Lions square off in a Monday night game that would easily be forgettable if it wasn't for what happened. It started with Sam Darnold's very first pass as an NFL player, which was a pick 6. Not to be outdone, another former first rounder, Matthew Stafford, would just somehow contrive to throw 4 interceptions in this game. But that's not even the oddest part of all of this. In the third quarter, early on in the third quarter, the Lions tied the game up 17-17. So with a little more than 13 minutes to play in that third quarter, the Jets miraculously, I don't even remember how it happened. I watched this game. I couldn't tell you exactly how it happened, but the Jets ran off and scored 31 points in 13 minutes, just cruising by the Lions. They ended up posting a 48 burger on Detroit in this opener. And yeah, just what a weird, fluky, classic week 1 nonsense result this was. Everyone in the 2010s wanted to predict the death of the New England Patriots. Every year, almost weekly it seemed like, someone was saying how this is the end of the Patriots dynasty, Brady's done, Belichick's done, rah rah rah. You get the idea. You probably lived through this. Well, the fever pitch around this narrative probably peaked after week 1 of 2017. The Kansas City Chiefs just boat raced the Patriots on another encounter, and it was really highlighted by Kareem Hunt's rookie record-setting performance, and the Chiefs just reeling off 21 straight points to close out the game. That Monday and Tuesday afterwards, everyone was saying the Patriots are done, Brady's washed up, Belichick doesn't know what he's doing, the whole shebang. And of course, we know this was not the case because the Patriots would only go on to win the Super Bowl that season. Chip Kelly compiled a 2-14 record in his lone season as the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers in 2016. He did, however, manage to spoil football's return to LA in the 2016 season by dominating the Rams, posting the shutout, and winning 28-0. What a weird game this was. Now, the Rams weren't very good. The Niners were worse. They were actually led by Blaine Gabbert in that game, who would start about 5 or 6 games in the 2016 season. And somehow the Niners pitched the shutout here with Chip Kelly controlling things. It got really bad for the Niners after this, because in week 2, they would see Carolina score more than 40 points. I think it was like 46 points in week 2, and the Niners ended up losing 13 games in a row, which just goes to show you, don't get too hyped up about any new coaches winning their first game. To start the NFL season in 2015, you had the Seattle Seahawks coming off of back-to-back Super Bowl appearances, although that last one didn't exactly end how they wanted it to end. They were facing the St. Louis Rams at the time, who were just a mediocre, mired mess led by the incomparable Jeff Fisher, Mr. 8-8 himself. All signs pointed to the Seahawks being able to easily win this game, start their season off with a win, and everything pointed to the Rams just being very average that year. Well, the Rams, albeit in overtime, did get the upset in this game. But if we look at the season as a whole, the Rams, again, went nowhere, just very, very average. The Seahawks, 10 games they won, back in the playoffs, you know how it goes. But yeah, just another fluke result that, when you look at the big picture, was just very, very odd. Long story short, there is no reason to get too high or low about whatever happens in week 1, because chances are it's not indicative of what's going to happen for the remaining 16 games of the season. So that does it for the Touchback's look at those odd NFL Week 1 performances. That does it for me. I'm Cheyenne Hollis. If you have any odd Week 1 games that you are particularly fond of or remember, leave them in the comment section. Like, subscribe, or whatever. Don't really care about that. But yeah, anyway, until next time, #take it out to the 25.